Frederick? Craig and I have been. It happened to us. Happened in California 5 years ago in July. Oh, amazing. Thankfully, we were Frederick. Thankfully, Susan was there helping us be Frederick too. So, and I got, because then we got Frederick twice. You know what that happens? Then you get Frederick to Puerto Rico. So be careful. And I'm thankful to be Frederick twice. It's amazing. But you guys, for you those who don't know Gene and Susan, they are givers. They make an impact on this entire company. What we're doing together was not our idea. It was Brent Gove and Gene Frederick and Susan Frederick and Kathy Gove. They're the ones that led the ship. They're the ones that showed us the way. So the past 2 days, we're doing the same. We want to honor them and what they've done for us by doing the same for everyone in this room. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. And let's kill it today!
This is how legends are made.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Salim. All right, here's what we're going to do this morning. I'm really very excited. Nice to meet most of you. Who haven't I met before? Anybody I haven't met? There you go, see? That's how you work a room, right? That's how you live your life. You should never go to one of these events and not meet every single person at the event, right? Amen. Right? Amen. Okay. Here's what we're going to do this morning. I want to raise your hands. Raise your hands. Be honest. Put them down. That is power. I had no idea I had that many buttons. Sorry. Raise your hand if, just honestly, you are the worst. You suck at it. You've never been able to juggle. Raise your hand. Okay. So that's almost the whole room. Right? Now I've got one volunteer already. Right? Three other volunteers, come on up. 3 other volunteers, come on. I'm not calling them, I just, whoever comes up. Okay.
These are my friends.
Let's give them a round of applause and come up. Before we even start this fun little thing, is I want to thank, because people just don't even know how hard this is to put on. Don't even understand until you do one of these. We did our first ones 5 years ago in Puerto, and there were 85 people there. And I mean, it was like, just 5 years ago, 2017, is that 5 years ago?
Yes, it is.
So I know how hard they are to put on, so I want to really thank Craig and Shelley and Deb. Thank you. Let's thank them. Yeah. That's huge. You guys don't even know because you're going to be doing your own. Right? Yes. All we're doing is showing you how to do it, and then Eric's going to do one, you know. You guys you're going to do one. You're going to do it in your own area because it works. Right? Get your people fired up. So, just be blunt. Tell everybody if you can juggle, really. Just that you're terrible?
I'm awful. It's on my bucket list. Never know.
No. Okay. Here's what I'm going to show you. Now watch this. These 2 are yours. Okay. These 2 are yours. These 2 are yours.
Uh-oh. Yours aren't round, Robin.
It's like, I got them here.
It's our
Just so you know, this hotel, this cost me $85. No kidding. Now, here's what I'm going to show you. Now watch. Now these are yours. Now what you want to do is I want you to watch me first, and don't do anything. I want you to look at me. Now, you're going to watch me juggle, and you're going to go, I can't do that, aren't you? Right? Okay. Now, I'm going to teach you to juggle in 30 seconds. Less than a minute. Don't listen to them, listen to me. Put one down. Put the left one down. Keep the one in your right hand. Now all I want you to do, and I want you to watch me, take your time. By the way, don't look at other people. Spread out a little bit. Yeah, give me spread out. Here's what I want you to do. Don't look at other people. Don't look at other people. This is just me and you. This is just me and you. Okay, stand over there so you can kind of see me. You know what I mean? Spread out a little bit. And I want you to take whatever you have in your right hand, and all I want you to do is toss it and catch it in your left. Let's do it again. No? That's okay. It's very real, because that's what happens in life, right? So put it in your right hand, throw it up and catch it in your left. That's right, even if you have to look at it. Now put it back in your right, throw it and catch it in your left. Put it in your right, throw it and catch it in your left. One more time, put it in your right, throw it and catch it in your left. How good is that? Now put that one down for me. Pick up the one in your left hand. All I want you to do, look at me, you did really good. By the way, good job. Let's give them a round of applause. We're talking pros here. Now, put it in your left hand. This is going to be hard for realtors. Left hand. Okay, and all I want you to do, keep your hands kind of close together, and just put it in your right hand. Don't toss it. Don't toss it. Put it in your left hand again. I don't want you to toss it. I want you to hand it off. There you go. Good job. Hand it off. Just hand it. Don't toss it. Hand it off. Hand it off. Left to right. Left hand. Now, that's your hand off. Hand it off. There you go. Don't toss it. One more time. Okay. Does everybody feel like they got that? Do you? Okay. Now let's pick up the other one. Now listen to me. Listen to me. Don't listen to anybody else. All I want you to do, when you think about it, we're going to combine the two events. You're going to throw the one up in your right hand first. Okay? You're going to throw it up. Now watch me. Watch me. Don't do it. All I'm going to do is hand this ball off, and then I'm going to catch it. Watch this.
Wow.
Watch. Be simple. That's all I'm going to do. Now throw it up. You did the two things. It's not hard. Don't be scared. But I want to tell you, it will work. It will work. Throw it up as high as you want. Throw it, doesn't matter, right? But when you throw it up, hand it off and catch it. Ready? Go. Ever. All you did was listen to me. All you did was pay attention for a second. Don't look at anybody else. Let's try it one more time. Get ready. Get it close together. Toss the right hand and catch. Let's give them a round of applause. To the side. Put these down here. Let's put these down here. They cost me $85. No, nothing goes without rewards. Give me those little suckers. We'll eat them later.
Exactly.
Here's what I do. This is how I like it. Okay. So we give them rewards. Very good. Go home and juggle! I know, that's right. Now, what did we learn? What did we learn from that? Let's talk about it. Listen to somebody else. Pay attention. Write out down everybody else. Take it down into small steps. Don't lose focus. Yes, Josie.
You can learn anything real quickly.
There you go, Mama Bear. Josie's been with you for a week. You can learn anything. It's a bunch of bunk. You're going to learn how to recruit right now. It is right now, Eric. It ain't tomorrow. It ain't because you don't know how to do it. You're going to learn it right now. I'm done. I can teach you right now. Here's the key to it. You guys have one of these?
Yeah.
Turn it off. It's going to be hard for you. Because most of you can't turn it off. You don't even know how to turn it off. I just need 30 minutes. I need 30 minutes, Mike. I need 30 minutes without Facebook. I need 30 minutes without phone. I want you to focus on what I'm going to say for 30 minutes. And it will change your life. The problem is you guys don't know how to turn it off. I play golf now twice a week. I turn it off. I turn it off. I've just learned in my life when I play with guys and they have their cell phones on, what are they doing? They're not even paying attention to what's going on. This really bothers me. Because I said, dude, you're here to play golf. You're here this morning to learn how to recruit. The recruit is not a bad word. Don't worry about it. I know you hear attraction. I don't attract anybody except for Susan. I just and Susan, how did I meet you?
You recruited me.
There you go! That is the truth. I recruited her in 1990 with 5 other. No, seriously, I've been recruiting all my life. Best recruit I've ever had. Here's what I want you to write down. Very important that you write stuff down today. The 3 volunteers, they volunteered. You got to try it, guys. The whole thing about recruiting, everybody goes, I don't know how to recruit. I said, well, did you try it? It's that simple. How many people are you meeting with? Well, I'm going to learn everything before I try it. How about we just get up on stage and try it? By the way, Deb told me beforehand her husband could not teach her how to juggle. All right? Because, and here's the other thing. Go find a coach like me or go find someone that can teach you how to do it. Right? It's not that she doesn't love her husband. She just, you know, she's just isn't going to listen for some reason, right? I know that. Number 2, practice it. Number 2, practice it. Here's the third thing that I did very well, if you noticed. I gave good feedback. I gave good feedback. Good job. Great job. Wow, you did awesome. Even when she dropped it, I said, it's okay. It's all right. You did good. When you're teaching your kids, if you hit them with a stick, they'll react with a stick. If you hit them that things are going good, life's better. You've got to reinforce. So you want to be around people like us. By the way, I'm going to have to teach you how to be motivated. You paid your way to be here. These are the people you want to hang out with. And you need to pour into each other in a positive way, not negative. Right? Oh, that didn't work. I wonder what I should have said at the interview. I wonder what I should have said. No. Just look at your positive. You showed up. They showed up. Ooh, we met. It's a good thing. Okay. Okay, so my whole time this morning is to instill self-confidence in you guys that you can do it. That's it. That's all I'm going to do this morning. Just self-confidence. All right? So everybody stand up. You're going to repeat after me. Remember a little guy named Muhammad Ali? What did he used to say every time he was on TV? I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. And you know what? After a while, we all took it as a joke. But you know what? He was instilling in him what? That he could do it every time. 4-time champion, is it? Does everybody know his stats? 4-time world champion? You know, got beaten down, came back, got beaten down. But every time, I'm the greatest. So here's what I want you to repeat after me. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. Recruiter. Of all time. Let's do it together. I'm the greatest. I'm the greatest. Recruiter. Of all time. I'm the greatest. Recruiter. Of all time. Yeah! Sit over there. You got it. I get the question a lot. I got it from some of you guys while I was here. 7 years ago, I sold 6 offices in a region. Susan and ours office, they're ours, not mine. We worked our tail off. We put our hands together 20 years ago and said we're going to start offices, we're going to buy a region, and we made a commitment as a family that that's how we were going to become passive and get passive income into our lives. We did that, seriously. 1998, we bought the region. 2002, 3, 4, we started offices. Everybody asked me, why did you sell everything? Why did you know? Here's the key. I've been recruiting agents since 1989. So I knew what I could do. Seriously, I knew what I could do. I had self-confidence. I had self-confidence. Plus I had goals and dreams. My goal was to recruit 200 agents in a year in Texas. Guess what the number was after a year in Texas? Exactly 200. Crap, I should have said 500. Right? Exactly 200. Because it just, when you have to do it, when you sell everything, here's the other thing to write down. Create a little uncomfortableness in your life. Comfortable, when you are comfortable, it's not good. I just met an agent this week. She has 60 agents. She came to Puerto Rico to see us. And she has 60 agents. Her husband looks at me at the last day. She goes, we're too comfortable. In fact, she wants to be uncomfortable. She wants to get that desire she had when she first started her office. She wants to get the desire when she first started in real estate. Remember? You guys remember? I remember 90 straight days when I got into real estate in 1994. I sat, no, 1984, what it was, 90 straight days. Boom. Had to learn it. Had to learn it. Quick. Right? Is that good for you guys?
Yeah.
Is it feeling? So here's what I also want you to write down. So quite honestly, I knew what I could do. I just had no idea. I mean, Kevin, Shelley, and Craig, I really didn't know if I would have other people with me. I just knew what I could do. I was so self-confident because I had practiced and recruited so many people. I tried to add it up this morning. I know that I've had at least 10,000 interviews.
Oh, wow.
Okay, 10,000 interviews. The old Malcolm Gladwell, right? 10,000 hours. I know I've had 10,000 interviews, probably more, because I do a lot of elevator interviews. Right? Do you guys have your elevator speech?
No.
Oh my gosh, I'm at a company that's going to change the world. I can't, boy, if I get a chance to ever talk to you, why don't you just give me your number and I'll call you later. I can't even tell you what this company is doing. You know, were you ever at Amazon in the beginning? No. Were you ever at Microsoft in the beginning? No. Neither was I, but I am now. That's my elevator speech. Well, tell me about it. I can't right now. It's just crazy. We're just going up 2 floors. But I'll tell you what, man. Let's meet.
Give me your number right now.
Give me your number right now. Give me your number. I'll copy it down. My elevator speeches are really good. I did it at KW for a long, long time. I'm not going to miss a chance to talk to another agent ever again in my life. Write it down. Don't miss another chance to talk to another real estate agent the rest of your life. Pretend that that real estate agent has cancer and you have the cure. That's exactly how I think about it. Pretend the agent has cancer and you got the cure. Would you not share it? Give me a break, right?
Right.
You would, right? So pretend that you have the cure. I mean, I'm just telling you, we've all had cancer stuff in our, right? If we haven't, you're not alive. Cancer or heart disease, right? That's the number 2 ones. Fears. Okay. I want you to write down the fears you have right now of not recruiting. Just write them down. They're your fears. We're not going to share them. Just what are the fears you have that you're not going to recruit? So you've got to address those today. By the end of this class today, you're going to have to address those because for some reason, whatever it is, I hear it from you guys all the time. I can't talk to that top producer. I'm not a top producer. You don't understand, Gene. I can't talk to that broker. I've never owned an office. Right? There's fears going on in your head. By the way, I call them old tapes. You just have old tapes. You're going. Old tapes, old tapes, old tapes, old tapes, right? Your brother's telling you can't succeed. Your sister's telling you you're no good. Maybe it was your dad or your mom. They're called old tapes. Get rid of them. Because today we can. We juggled for the first time.
We juggled for the first time today. It's a bunch of bunk that, by the way, 21 days to create a new habit, 66 days to create a new habit. That's just a good book. Just so you know, Gene's going to teach you today. All right? Here's what I want you to do. The largest, what's a giraffe? I want you to write down, I want to be a giraffe. Put it down, I want to be a giraffe. Here's why I want you to be a giraffe. The giraffe in a mammal, land mammal, has the largest heart. Did you know that? No. They have the largest heart of any land mammal, and they have the longest neck, so they can have a vision. They can see. So what I want you to do to bring to every interview you're ever going to do the rest of your life is a lot of heart. Boom. That's it. They will walk away. They won't know what you said. They won't be able to remember what script you had. They're just going to remember that person cared about them. Okay? And here's what you're gonna have to do. So you're gonna be a giraffe the rest of your life. You're gonna set a vision for these people, right? And here's what I want you to write down. It's all about them. This is gonna be very hard for realtors. Because you have too many cards with your picture on it. But it's really going to be all about them. And what people don't realize is they say, Gene, what do you say? What do you do? And I said, all I want to do is meet another human being. That's all I want to do. I have no, and write this down, don't have any preconceived notion of the outcome. Right? Too many times you go, I'm going on this interview, I'm going to get them. I mean, you're pumping yourself up. I'm going to get them, man. I can't wait, man. Can't wait until I talk about rev share. Woo-hoo! Right? But when it's all about them and it's not about you, how often should you tell your story?
Never.
Never. It's not about you. Here's what I hear all the time. I get on three-way calls with you guys, and I hear you say, oh, I can't, Gene, here's why I came. And then halfway through, you interrupt me, and you go, here's why I came, Gene. You wouldn't believe it, blah, 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 blah. And I go, they don't care. Because it's about them, not you. And you go, wait, no, Gene, I've got a compelling story. I've got a compelling story. You just don't understand. I have to tell it. And I said, excuse me, isn't it all about them? Talk about the juggling. Was it all about them today?
Yeah.
It's all about them. I told them to shut everything else out. It's all about them. I didn't show them how well I can juggle. I can juggle 3. I can juggle 4 balls. I didn't go, ooh, watch me. Watch me. Watch me. Right? Mm-hmm. Because I wanted to teach them how to juggle. Mm-hmm. Guys, this is so important. And people go, how'd you learn how to recruit so many people? I studied it. I watch TED Talks every single day. You know, I ask Josie and Nolly that are with me.
Every morning.
Every morning he sees me out there with my notebook, and I'm listening to TED Talks, and I'm taking notes. He goes, Gene, you're constantly learning. I said, hello, I want to get really good at this. I really want to be so good that I don't mess up, right? Because a lot of times I'll just meet an agent, I go, God, that was a great time. And they go, when did they come? And I said, I have no idea. I don't care. Because I don't have any outcome. The problem is you guys are looking for outcomes. Guys, this is not, just so you know, recruiting real estate agents is not selling homes. When somebody calls you to sell a home, they want you to sell a home. You got to get the listing. Buyer, get in the car and go. The problem is, I've been recruiting agents now since 1989. It's a different gig. And if you don't realize that, you're going to mess up. Because you're going to go, Gene, who was it? I think you told me the first night, Gene, I got this person. She's one of my best friends. I can't get her to move. Right? Not true? Gene, help me get her to move. And I'm going, I can't get her to move. But you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is you want her so bad because she's a good friend, right? And since they're good friends of ours, we want them to move. But in reality, they're going to move, write it down, when they want to move. That's it. It's that simple. You guys call me all the time. Give me the script, Gene. Tell me what to say. When to say it. How often should I contact them? How about all the time? They're getting Facebooked and Twittered all the time. They're getting so bombarded with information. There is no too much contact, just so you know, write it down. You could contact somebody 10 times a day and they go, yeah, you're contacting them too much. No, you're not. No, you're not. I get, since my phone's off, but I guarantee you, Mr. Risk is calling me right now. Right? Spam Risk. Spam Risk calls me 5 times a day. Mr. Spam Risk. Okay. Here's the key too that I want you to understand. You don't have to present EXP. You just have to be a good inviter. Lenora Ramos, when we were in Cabo last week, she was an attorney for 14 years. Her husband, Gil, has a real estate company. And she goes, I don't really kind of know what EXP is about, but I'm a connector, and I can say, hey, you ought to listen to Gil. And I get him to my husband. She goes, I really don't know what it's about. I can't get in the cloud. I don't know any of that stuff, right? She said that on stage. She goes, but I'm a good connector. So pick and choose what you're good at. You don't have to be the presenter at the lunch and learn, right? You don't even have to be a presenter. You can hit play, right? Everybody thinks they have to be a great presenter like Eric, Kevin Cottrell, Sheila Faison. You don't have to. I've seen these guys teach. They're good. Let them do it. I would just invite. I'd invite. That's not hard, right? You can teach, you can learn that. Okay. I'm going to teach you how to listen. This is going to be a toughie. Really, it is going to be a toughie. Nonverbal communication. When you're talking to anyone, turn your cell phone off. Just turn it off. If you're interviewing them live, turn it off. If you're on a Zoom, turn it off. Don't have that thing going off in the background. That would distract the heck out of me. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I got to get a call because you're not important. Right? Verbal communication. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about listening. This is really, really important. First of all, I want you to listen. Write that down. That's the first thing you're going to do. You're going to ask a question, whatever it is. Tell me about yourself. I do it different ways. Tell me what your goals are in business and personal life. Whatever I'm doing, I'm going to listen to them. Sometimes it's 20 minutes to 40 minutes. If you do it right, you want to find out what's going on with them. If they've already seen EXP, sometimes I'll say, what excites you about EXP? I like that script. Because if they've already seen the video, what excites you about EXP? And they will tell you. Not, hey, what don't you like about EXP? What are the problems you have with EXP? These are bad questions, right? What excites you? And they'll tell you, I want to get residual income in my life. Or they will tell you what excites them. Now, here's the key. After you ask them good questions, by the way, it's all about them the first 20 minutes to 30 minutes. I don't even talk about EXP. And then I want you to recap. Write it down. I do this all the time. If you see me on Zooms, I'm taking notes the whole time they're talking. If you want to, you can ask them, is it okay if I take notes? John, you can say, is it okay if I take notes while I'm talking to you? Because you want to let them know that I'm literally taking notes. Wife is Susie, have 3 kids, 18, 16, and 14. I ask them what are their boy, girl, boy. I ask them everything about themselves, how long they've been in business, RE/MAX for 5 years, KW for 7 years, boom, boom, boom. I'm writing everything down, and then I'm finding out, and I did it the other day, I'm going to recap what they said to me in shorter version and get them to agree. You know what I heard you say? I had one the other day. His mom's been a realtor for 40 years in San Francisco, in the Bay Area, ERA franchise. And he goes, I want to be like my mom. Right? He said that when I was asking questions. And so at the end I said, well, it's really important for you. Is it correct? I'm hearing you say, a psychologist would say, I'm hearing you say that you want to be like your mom, and it's very important for you to have a culture of an office that they follow you and you're the broker. He says, that's correct. I summarized it, but I have to put it in words, just so you know, this is really important, that they understand and they agree with. By the way, if they don't agree with what I just said, I said, well, let me summarize that another way. You guys think this is crazy, but I do it all the time. And if you've been on Zooms with me, I don't even read anything you send me ahead of time. I think Moody had one the other day. He says, well, here's all the background on the people. I didn't read it. I don't read anything Moody says to me. But here's the key. The reason I don't want to have a judgment. I don't want to have a judgment in my mind. Oh, they like horses and soccer. So it's bull duty that you ask them about horses and soccer. Wipe that out of your mind. Wipe it out. Those are bad sales books. Bad sales books. I'm just telling you they are. Because I know what to do. I start scratch. You know, Eric, tell me about yourself. Really? Blah, 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 blah. What's that look like for you? What's your 5-year goals? What's your 10-year goals? What's it look for your 18-year-old you just told me about? What's her goals? I just sit there and I just quiz. Because here's my thing. If I can't get their vision for their life the next 5 years, I can't solve it. Okay? That's all you've got to do. You want to get 2 things. Their vision for their life, and you're going to summarize it back to them, and what are their goals for the next 5, 10 years. If you don't get those, by the way, a lot of times I'll just go, hey, Randy, where in the world would you love to live? If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be? Oh, that opens up. You know, I didn't ever told you, Gene, but my wife and I, we're thinking, you know, when it's said and done, we're moving to Puerto Rico. Yeah. You don't even understand. My buddy Mario's there, man. We're gonna work. And it's really weird. I ask that question a lot because it really will conceive. You know, if you guys are recruiting in Michigan or Ohio, they all don't want to live there. Just so you know. They all want to move somewhere, right?
Very true.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this, and I'm going to let you guys ask questions of me. All right? At the end. I'm kind of going off on this because I want you to get the whole crux of how you interview people correctly. The problem is, if you're not good at it, I asked a person yesterday, in fact, I had a Zoom out by the pool yesterday. She's an ex-team leader from Keller Williams. I'm an ex-team leader from Keller Williams. She said, you taught me 12 years ago. I said, oh, cool. I used to teach the team leaders at Keller Williams. She goes, I don't remember. But anyway, she said, but you know, I teach so many people. And then she goes, Gene, she said, I tell you, I'm not doing as well here as I did at KW. I said, why don't you do this? Why don't you record some of your interviews? Could you do that for me? She goes, oh, that'd be great. I said, yeah, just record them. Record what you're saying and how you're saying it, and then call me next week and I'll listen to them and we'll go over it. I'll critique it for you. She goes, cool. Because I guarantee you there's one thing you guys do way too often. Well, tell me about yourself, Randy. And then right when you're telling yourself, you go, I want some residual income. Oh, let me tell you about RevShare. Oh my God, it's changed my life. Let me tell you my story. And I'm making 15 grand a month. I never thought I'd be making 15. And let me tell you how it's changed my life. That's what you guys do all the time. I hear it over and over and over. I've been on so many calls with you guys. And if you ever interrupt me again, I'm not getting on a call with you. Because I know where I'm going. It's my listing appointment. It's not yours. And a lot of you guys, especially the coaches in the room, you know who you are, love to one-up me. They do. They do. I had one last week. We won't even say the name. But it's like, you know, dude, I thought you wanted me on the call. If you want to do the call, just have me in the background. Yeah. I'll be eating pizza. Okay. By the way, it's not hard to listen. It will be obvious if you're listening. It's a bunch of bunk. What, do I have to learn the skill? They will know it. They will know it if you're listening. If you're listening, you pay attention. Okay, this is a hard one. You know, it's like, well, how do I listen? Well, no kidding. How about shut off the doggone cell phone, scrap everything, and look at the person on the Zoom and go, damn, you look good on a Zoom. I said, I look really good on a Zoom. I said, I'm this big. I said, in real life, I'm much better looking. I say it all the time. I said, I'm really better looking in person. I'm just this big. Okay. Let's repeat back what I told you, if anybody could, really quick. What are the really keys?
Listen.
Listen.
Ask for the vision.
Practice.
Make
What's
it
that?
ask for their vision.
Ask good questions. Ask for the vision.
Recap their story.
Recap their story.
Goals and vision.
Get their goals and vision.
Take
Yes.
notes.
Take notes.
They're gonna move when they wanna move.
They move when they want to move.
Be a great
Start
provider.
from scratch, don't have preconceived notions.
There you go. Start from scratch. Don't have preconceived notions. Don't
It's
look them
not
up on
about
Facebook.
me.
Huh?
It's not about me, it's about them.
It's about them.
And
Thank
don't
you.
talk about EXP.
And don't talk about EXP until it's time. There'll come a time. You'll get to it. Let me give you an example. Elizabeth Riley and I, she's my sponsor. We started this together, and I was report back. She goes to me one day, and she goes, I want you to talk to Vanessa Nunez. I said, cool. She was the #1 agent for a small independent doing about $15 million a year in Austin. And I meet her at 6:30 in the morning at a Starbucks. They're both in their workout clothes. Vanessa, if you haven't met her, she's a sweetheart. But she does, what's that workout in the morning with the tires and the CrossFit. Oh my God. Vanessa, you know, I looked at Vanessa, I said, I ain't messing with her. Vanessa, what do you want to drink? No. But Vanessa was in her workout clothes. Susan's, not Susan's there, I'm looking at Susan. Elizabeth Riley's there. And Elizabeth goes, oh, she's asking me all these questions about, she calls me ahead of time. I said, Vanessa, why are we here this morning? How can I help you? And she goes, you know, Gene, I've always done $15 million a year. If I can get to $20 million a year, man, that'd be awesome. I said, Vanessa, what if I do this? If I commit to you to coach you for 6 months, and I get you to 20 million, will you consider joining us today? She goes, yes. She joined.
Wow.
And we left. It was like 15 minutes. And Elizabeth goes, you did not tell her about this talk. She doesn't know anything about our company. I said, Elizabeth, did I solve her problem? Did I, and she goes, yes. I said, is she joining? Yes. The next year, she was the Realtor of the Year in Austin. EXP, baby. EXP, we got the #1 agent. Just from, I repeat back to her what she wanted. Is that okay if I solve that? Right. And by the way, after a year, she calls me and says, Gene, what's this red share stuff? This is cool. Can you help me with that? Sure. They'll get to it, right? Because it wasn't important to her at the time. The problem is you guys are trying to make it important to her. Right? You're in this room to learn red share. Right? But just so you know, 90% of our company is not here. Right? We're somewhere else. Really, 95% of you guys' companies. Okay. You know what? I'm really good today. I really thought, you know, I woke up at 4:30 this morning and said, I'm going to prepare for these puppies, and I'm going to be good. Oh, I like it when I'm good. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Write this down. There's no wrong questions. There's only wrong responses. You can't ask a bad question. Forget about it. I used to cheat sheet. When I was recruiting agents, I'd write down the 5 or 6 questions I wanted to ask every single time. I just write them down. You know, on a piece of notebook paper every time I talked to them. I didn't mind if they even saw them. Chuck with me and Peurto, I go, hey, tell me about, I just, you know, and everybody goes, what's the question? I said, I have it pre-recorded for me. And then I've sent them so many times, after 10,000 interviews, I don't need to write them down anymore. That's what you need to do. Cheat. But don't, there's only wrong responses like, why would you stay at Coldwell Bank? You just paid him $80,000 last year. Are you just stupid? What do they hear when you say that? Guys, you can't do that. You can't do that. You never, ever talk bad about the other guy. Ever. Write it down. You just don't. And don't dish what they're doing. Because they're where they are because they want to be there. Okay? You know what? I've gone through most of my notes. I'm that damn good. No question. So you can juggle. Before, right? You guys go back and now you can juggle. It was that simple just to show you the steps. The steps I'm going to show you is you ask good questions. Number one, you listen. You shut off everything. Verbal. You guys really want to become good at being with a person in a small space. And it's about them. It's just about them. You guys don't know, and I've met almost everybody here, right? They don't know. You don't know how many spouses I have, how many where I am. I have, how many I'm in Salt Lake City. I'll see you all later. But nobody's asked me about me. Nobody here has asked me about me. Isn't that weird? Why? Because I control the conversation. It wasn't that you weren't a good person. It's just that I control the conversation. Tell me about yourself. What's going on? You know what I mean?
Looking them up.
Looking them up. You know, I controlled the conversation.
Don't you want them to ask about you?
I don't really care because it's about them. It's all about them. So I'm so good at it, it really doesn't matter. You don't know how many, if you don't know, of course Kevin does and other people that know me, you know how many kids we have, how many grandkids, how many, you know, what's going on in our lives, which by the way, with 5 kids and 9 grandkids, there's something going on. Of course, that is right. There's something going on right now. They're calling grandma right now with their cell phones off, right? She's the guardian angel of our family. Everybody calls her, right?
Yeah.
Everybody calls, she's our guardian angel. So, but not a lot of people know about me. And a lot of you guys get me on a 3-way call, go, Gene, tell them your story. Gene, tell them your story. And I don't. Because I realize you don't understand. If they wanted to hear my story, go to YouTube. Right? Right? And if you do the napkin presentation, when you do the brokerage side, there's 2 napkin presentations where I go over the brokerage. You know, you need to have that one down. That's an elevator speech. We're not doing the franchise model, tops down, right? That's a different model. You need, if you really need that one, then you really need to be good at the rev share 6x6 and 10x10. I call it 6x6 and 10x10. Write it down. They're on YouTube. You can find them all over. Just put Gene Frederick. Actually, somebody put in Gene. It came up. Gene Frederick. Because and watch them over and over again and just get good at a couple things, right?
Yeah.
You don't need to do the whole presentation. By the way, in the last, probably since 2018, I have not done a lunch and learn with slides. They're just not needed anymore. We got so many good videos, right? Pick the one you like. Pick the one you think will relate to that person, right? If it's a woman, I use a woman's video, quite honestly. Yeah.
Gene, question for you.
Yeah.
What is your best comeback when you hear people say, well, I think that, you know, I missed the boat from Asian attraction. They feel like that they came in later than coming in earlier. I believe it's actually easier to attract now than it was before because we have such a good story to tell. But you hear that from sometimes when you're talking to some of the larger teams,
Right.
like, yeah, I mean, we missed the boat.
Okay, John, what I hear you saying is you think like you've missed the boat. Is that correct?
Yes.
Recap it. Right? Simple. That you've missed the boat. Okay, I want you to write down a couple numbers if you could for me. We're approximately at 80,000 agents. We're going to 1 million. Take 80,000, John, divided by 1 million. We're 8% done. Dude, you have not missed the boat. Now, it depends on how I'm going to talk to him. And realistically, I'm myself. But at the same point in time, if he's very regal, speaks, you know, I won't say dude. right? But most of the time, I will say, I'm kind of myself. I'm kind of, if it got along great, and the interview went great, I said, let me tell you, John, you have not missed the boat. In fact, it's better to come now. You weren't here 7 years ago with me and Kevin Cottrell and my daughter and other people, and we were talking to people, and they said, what's EXP? And I said, one letter better than KW. I can tell that offended some KW people, and I quit saying it. And I really just had fun with it because I was starting something from scratch. I knew where it was going. Why? Self-confidence. Self-confidence, dudes. You have no idea how much self-confidence I can change agents' lives. By the way, the other thing that I'm very confident about, you got to find this out for people, not just their goals, their vision. What's their why? What's their why? Write it down. I know what my why is. I know what my why is. And I tell them. I say, I don't even know you there. I got to do this for that. Someday I can. It's really weird. Why? You know why? Because I knew I'd meet somebody talented like you, and you'd be in my life. I don't know why, because you're going to help agents, and that's my why. We're going to help so many agents. We're going to help agents get out of debt. We're going to help agents destroy David Ramsey. We're going to have. But you know what I mean? That's my why. Now, when I first started, Susan and I invented making real estate fun again. That was my invention. I wanted to have fun. I am just going to have fun, whether we're going to have, just have fun. Now, my latest one is, I just invented it this week. By the way, after 7 years, I can have a new saying for me. This is me, right? This is just the beginning of my giving. This is just the beginning of my giving. Now that I'm making rev share in the boo-boos, and it's falling out of my pockets, we better be giving, right? We better be, that better be a mission now. Mission that we give so much money away that people are talking about us forever.
Yeah.
Right? I'm gonna have it on my golf bag. I got a new golf bag being made. This is just the beginning of my giving. And then on the other side, making real estate fun again. Okay?
Awesome.
What are the questions you guys have for me that are struggling? By the way, don't feel bad. Ask any question. Thank you. You've been here like a week.
How do you get them to get to meet with you?
How do you get them to meet with them? Turn the cell phone back on.
Chief, this is Amani. I just joined EXP. I'd love to have coffee with you. Oh, I'm too busy.
Oh, cool. How about next week?
Oh, I'm out of town.
How about the next week?
So you keep calling me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Late conversion.
Yeah, because here's the thing. How do you get them to? Seriously, it's all about effort. And realistically, and Kevin Cottrell and I talked about this because he came to my team leader training early on 20 years ago. It's about numbers. Whoever makes the most appointments wins the game. It's just real life. I mean, you can go, I want to take 20 listings this month. Can you have 10 listing appointments? No. You need at least 20 listing appointments. If you want to recruit 20 agents in a month, guess how many listing appointments you have to have? A lot. Ask Sheila Faison. Ask me when those early days. Ask Susan. The phone was attached to my ear. I didn't even have earplugs things. In other words, I'm just calling people. My daily schedule was 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock. 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock. 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock.
What's that?
10 a.m., 1 o'clock,
I see.
3 o'clock.
You wanted to fill those.
Monday through Friday. That's 15 appointments. And I held to it for 3 years. Okay, do it. Now, the only times I didn't do it was when Houston called me and said, or San Antonio called, or Dallas called and said, hey, we got a lunch and learn, we want you to present. Cool. That day I had to drive down there, present for 20 people. That's back. I can show you, Chocolate Kudasai. I turn it off. I can show you where I did it. I was Norm from Cheers. It was at the Corner Bakery in Austin, Texas. Everyone knows. And they just sent me a picture. And at the 3-year mark, we went on NASDAQ, May 21st, 2018. Why do I know it? Because I was there. And I told the owners, I said, hey, dudes, guess what? We went on NASDAQ. We're uplisted. And the owners got around me and they, gee, you did it from that table. Yes, I did. I sat right there and I interviewed people. Fee Gentry. Got Fee Gentry in that one. Got so many people just right at that table. Fee goes, yeah, I remember sitting at that table with you. It was my table for 3 years. What are you gonna do to create your wealth? Are you gonna pretend like you can't juggle? You can juggle. You can do it today. Yes?
We do an event every month at a distillery.
Ooh, I like that.
We have a panel of top agents from all brokerages
Yep.
that come up and speak on a topic. Then we do a short EXP Explained, and then we go to the bar paid for by our sponsors. Brent said yesterday, you have said, don't talk about EXP. We started with the slideshow, went too long. Now we've got somebody that gets up there, tells their story. Should we not be talking about EXP?
Oh, I would always talk about EXP. I would tell you this, you gotta get someone like me that can tell it a lot shorter without slides. And I wouldn't tell my story. I would say, you know, this is why we're successful. We've gotten rid of all the doggone expenses every single real estate company's ever experienced. We're the first metaverse company. And I use metaverse a lot now. I said, you don't have to put a headset on, but we're all avatars. And I'm damn good looking as an avatar. That's what I tell them. I said, I am like 30 years old again as an avatar. It's like awesome. So, but you need someone that can explain it in 5 minutes or 10 minutes. I would never have a meeting without talking about EXP. It's a bunch of bunk because
Yeah, just don't do slides.
just don't do slides.
Okay.
Don't do that. Do we have a presentation by corporate?
Yeah.
Well, we're not corporate. We're agents. I do my own.
You need powerful stories.
You need powerful stories. Powerful stories. A couple of me stand up, and I've been here 3 years. You know, it's changed my life. Boom, boom, boom. I used to sell 30 homes a month. Now I'm doing 60. Make it about production, right? Not about rev share of stock all the time. But quite honestly, the reason you do lunch and learns, I think it changed our company. The minute I started doing lunch and learns, guys, when I could get 15, 20 people in a room, and then they'd call me from Dallas and say, Gene, we got 50. Rob Flick was the best. And Rob would go, Gene, I got 55 people. I said, cool, let's do this, Rob. Let's tag team it. You know, you take the brokerage side, tell them how we changed the brokerage industry. I'll take stock and rev share. We would split up the presentation, and we would just do it. Okay? Got a lot of top Remax people from those presentations. Yes, ma'am.
When an agent is talking to a couple of other agents about EXP, and you learn that, what's your response?
What
Do
do
you, so if
Approached by multiple people.
being approached by multiple people,
I said, that's going to happen all the time to them. I said, it's going to happen all the time to you, because you know what? People are fired up about this company. It's the weirdest thing. You know, I've been in Charlotte now for 5 years, and nobody from your company's called me. It's really weird. Do they not want me? And they go to me. I said, it's really weird. I've been here 5 years. Nobody's called me. I said, nobody's called me from Remax, Cole Bagger. I said, it's really weird. But so if 3 of our people call you, I'm so sorry. We're just all excited. Well, when's the last time somebody called you? Oh, 4 months ago. Well, you know, it's an open game if it's 4 months.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But don't think, by the way, whoever they join, we celebrate.
Yeah.
Whoever they join, we go, oh, right? Just happened to Dolly the other day. He said, gee, it just happened to be the other day. I just lost one the other day. He didn't lose one.
Yeah,
He gained an EXP agent.
that's right.
Yes, Mario.
When is it considered not open game? If that
Well, I would
agent
say
has not followed
if
up.
I got a call from somebody saying, hey, I just talked to Shelley Johnson yesterday. She told me to call you and get some feedback. Or I just talked to Craig LePage the other day, and he said, when they say the other day, I go, cool. I mean, I'm all about protecting everybody. That's what I do. That's what I do. I mean, I'm not.
Now, of course, if that agent hasn't followed up in
Yeah.
a month, 2 months.
Or 3 or 4 months or something, you know, if it's months' time and they haven't followed up. Because really what's going to happen is you're going to contact them and they go, well, nobody's contacted me in a couple months. That's when they're wanting to talk to you.
Got it.
Yes.
if you had a child who was graduating high school or attending college, and they were thinking about real estate, what would your recommendation be?
Get the license as soon as they can. Seriously, because this industry is the best sales industry I've ever, and I have no problem telling people I'm a salesperson, right? I was an accountant before. So a lot of people go, well, I don't like saying I'm a salesperson. I said, I like saying I'm a salesperson because I developed a skill. And I love saying I'm a recruiter because I developed a skill.
Yeah.
And I'm really good at both. I sold lots and lots of homes, and I've recruited a lot of agents, and I'm proud of it. I have no problem telling people that I look them in the eye and I listen to them. I have no problem telling them, what kind of home do you want? I'll find it for you. And I've actually listened. They want a 3-bedroom, I don't show them 4 bedrooms. If they want, right? I mean, I'm really good at what I do. It's not hard. But you guys all of a sudden get in the recruiting mood, Lori, and you go, well, I can't do that. What do you mean you can't do that? I can't be Brent Gove. Nobody can be Brent Gove. Who's going to be Brent Gove? Nobody. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah.
So you taught me this 20 years ago, but it's a good question because I hear this a lot from agents.
Yeah.
Whether you have 500 agents or I went to a market in Miami where there's 60,000 agents. People look at the list and they're like, where do I start? Who should I focus on? Right? What would your answer be to agents?
Well, first of all, I would focus on anybody you've done business with. That's number one. Get out your old files. Go through. I don't care if you sold them a home 15 years ago. Get out all your old files and call them. Go, gosh, Eric, it's just nice. You know, I just thinking about you, dude. I remember we closed on 1922 Big Sky 15 years ago. Man, was that crazy. Did you leave the roof on that sucker? And I would start there. Here's the things I would do. I would start there. This is really important. Write them all down, right? Second thing I would do, I'd go to all my vendors, every single vendor I have, and get the list from them. And here's how I do it. I said, Bob, you know what? Who's the up-and-coming realtors that aren't just so ingrained in their company, they've been there 20 years, the ones that you are starting to get deals from? Insurance, home inspectors, mortgage, title, everything. I go to all my vendors and I said, who's the up-and-comers? Because I know you see them. Oh yeah, there's this person over at ERA. She is super sharp. Man, she gave me 5 deals last month. She's only been in the business 2 months. I said, cool. Can I have her name? I won't tell her you told me. And then I call that agent. I said, oh, Susie, you know what? Everywhere I go, your name keeps popping up. You are just awesome. You're the new superstar for ERA, I heard. Hey, let's go have coffee. Talk real estate. Guys, it's not hard. The word relationship is a different word. Everybody goes, you have to be in a relationship before you talk to them. Well, the relationship is you just got the name from a vendor. That's our relationship. That's all I need. The third thing, don't worry about going through the MLS and all that kind of stuff. You can get so many names. I have people going to open houses. Works. Open houses are easy. Spend a Saturday or Sunday and go through 10, 15, 20 open houses. You got 10, 15 other realtors. You scope it out. If you got good energy from them, Rob Flick taught me this. If I feel good energy, I get a card. If I don't feel good energy, I walk out. Right? Didn't Rob talk? We want people with good energy. When they go, you'll get this all the time. Well, I'm loyal. Good. I love my broker. Awesome. That's who we want. I don't want somebody that is not loyal and hates their broker. And they look at me and I go, I'm so good that you love your broker and you're loyal. So was I after 21 years at Keller Williams. I still have people go, we can't believe you left. I said, I can't either. But when I found something I could affect people's lives with, I had to go. I had to go. I couldn't affect people's lives at KW. I couldn't. Okay, you know why I couldn't? I pulled the profit share for 2014. By the way, number one, at KW, is there stock? No. Okay, there's one reason. Number two, I pulled the rev share at the end of 2014. What is it, profit share? I am so glad that I screw up the wrong way now. I used to screw up the other way all the time. So I pulled profit share for 2014 out of 130,000 agents. I want you guys to write down what number you think, what percentage of those agents,
How many agents?
what percentage, 130,000, what percentage of the KW agents at the end of 2014, I have it in my closet, I can show it to you, are making $3,000 a month or $36,000 a year. This is true. This is, you guys understand, I'm a big nerd with numbers. Just write down the percentage of those 130,000 you thought were making in profit share. By the way, that was 7 years ago. They've been open 31, 32 years. So I think the model's pretty well intact. I think the model's pretty well secure. I think the model's like, they got lots of agents, they got lots of market centers, they know that they're running them for 30 years. What's the percentage? I'll take one from this table. Somebody say something.
2%.
2%?
Less than one.
1%? 2%?
5.
5%? I hear that all the time. You just came, didn't you?
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago from KW, right? That's very low. Most of the KW people will say 10 to 15 to 20%. Just so you know, the agents will. Huh? Half of 1%. 1.5?
1/10.
1/10? 3%?
Less than 1/10.
1/2.
1.5? Okay. Out of 130,000 agents, you wrote it down, there were 242 people. Wow. 242 people. 1% is 1,300.
Oh my gosh.
So Eric was the closest. In other words, it's basically, when I ran it, it was less than 20% of 1%. But I did it.
6K a month.
What?
3K
3K a month. No, 36K a year.
36.
36K a year, 3,000 a month. I do monthly because most people think monthly. Because if you're making $3,000 extra a month, that was the number I picked in Texas. Paid for your house payment, paid for your car payment, paid for your mistress. Oh, no, just kidding. I threw that one in. Susan's in the room. Okay. You know what I mean? In other words, $3,000 a month was my number. I just picked it out of thin air. I thought, because if I could help everyone in this room right now get $3,000 a month, does it change your life? Raise your hand. Oh, yeah, sure it does. It's bull duty that everybody goes, well, I want $10,000 a month. Cool. But $3,000 a month changes your life. Because that's residual. That's willable. That's passed down. Right? That's when I came to Susan. And I honestly made the decision. I couldn't affect people's lives. I thought it was going to be more. Susan was number like 110. I was number 41 in the whole company. We were inside that group. And I thought, since we were making it, everybody was. And that's when it hit me with a 2x4. I can't affect people's lives. No stock, profit share doesn't work. No stock, profit share doesn't work. No stock, profit share doesn't work. Here, and when I made that decision, there were 350 agents in the whole company. 4 months later, I joined. We had 400 agents. And I went, I'm going to affect people's lives here. I'm going to affect. Does that help? We probably would, I'm sure we'll have at least 10% of our people. Right? Now write these numbers down. This will affect your life. $11,000. It's not a number. It's money. It's dollars. U.S. $11,000. Okay, and then $46,000. And I'll explain to you what those are. After a year of being here, and 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, I got a check for $11,000 in rev share. And I went to Susan. I said, this isn't working. It's the first time I got a 5-figure. I said, and she goes, what do you mean? I said, I don't think I'm going to make less than $11,000 in a month ever again in my life. Now, when have you ever said that in your life anyway, selling real estate? Have you ever just said, I'm never going to make less than $11,000 a month? You're in a month where you don't sell anything. A year goes by. Susan sees the boat she likes at the lake house, Memorial Day. It's a true story. And she goes, how's the rev share doing? True story. If you guys don't know our relationship, she does the expenses, I do the income. And she goes, how's it? And I said, honey, we just got a check for $46,000.
Yes.
And I went to her and I said, it's working. 2 years of working my tail off. And I said, I'll never make less than $46,000 ever again in my life. Now, I do this on Zooms all the time. The reason is, that's not heard of in real estate.
No.
And you get to talk like this.
Right.
Guess what the third year was? Just guess, write a number down. Just guess what the third year was. 110,
200.
150,
500.
165,000. And I got to go to Susan and said, honey, we'll never make less than 165,000 ever again in our lives. Now, I got news for you. If that doesn't change your life,
Or get you fired up.
you need to sell less real estate and recruit more agents. I'm just telling you right now, make a commitment. Not sell less real estate. You're selling 30 homes a year. Gene, I'm going to sell 50 homes a year next year. Why? Sell 30 homes a year and recruit 25 agents.
Yes.
Does that help? Here's why. We're going to $1 million. We're 8% done. We're 8% done. Now, my feeling is I don't care when the million happens. See, everybody knows when's it going to happen. I don't know. When did J.C. Penney sit down with their corporate headquarters in Plano, Texas, and go, what in the hell is Amazon doing? What do you think those meetings were like? How are we going to compete with Amazon? When was that? My daughter-in-law worked for them for 12 years in their marketing department. And she would come home and I said, how are you guys competing with Amazon? She goes, we're going to come out with the catalog. Holy moly. You know what? You know who those JCPenney's are people now? Cole Banker people. Keller Williams Management, Remax Management, ERA, Sotheby's. They're all sitting around going, let's do the catalog again. Let's do more ads in the magazine. I guarantee you, because they don't know how to think. They really don't know what's happening. You're going to hear a lot today from Shelley and Kev on crypto. I'm sticking around because I got news for you. We're going to be ahead of the game in this gig, right? We're not going behind. Everybody's going to have, I had literally a team leader last week ask me, who's going to think about opening up her own office, God bless her. And I literally told her I would fly to California and grab her by the ankles and hold her down. Because I said, if you're going to start another market center, if you're going to start another, this is exactly how I talked to her. If you're going to start another JCPenney's, I want to come help you. Stop you. Don't start a Kmart. Do not start a JCPenney's. Do not start a Sears. Please, Amazon exists. And she said, well, how are we going to compete against you? She literally said that to me. How are we going to compete? I said, it's real simple. Do you have a metaverse? She goes, no. I said, do you have stock in your company? No. I said, do you do rev share instead of profit share? No. I said, that's how you're going to compete with us? Until you do those three things, you will not compete.
And the technology piece is huge.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't even know what KW is doing now. All I know is I look at them and I see JCPenney's right where KW is. I look at them and I drive by all these market centers or offices from these, and I go, you know what you ought to do? You guys are really good at TikTok. You ought to do some TikTok thing where you drive around, somebody's filming, you go, you know what? We're going to show you how real estate used to be sold. And then drive by. There's a building! There's a building! And I was doing that. Oh, here's how we used to sell real estate. Yeah. And then you go into the metaverse and you go, this is it now.
That's right.
Come on, guys, be creative. Be creative. Just do it. By the way, this is our company. I'm not waiting for EXP Corporate to do anything for us. Thank you, Shelley. Thank you, Craig, for putting this on, because this is you guys. This is what's beautiful. We get to do this. And you know, and not wear pants. It's awesome. You know what I mean? Awesome! That's awesome. I could be like Brent. I could do a Brent impersonation, but it'd be later.
Question. Okay. Is it better to get them in person
Always.
or go with the Zoom meeting, the 3 ways?
Always in person. If you would be great in person. Believe me. Everybody would be great in person, right? You get this. You get to see them. You get body language.
But they are far away, so Zoom is the next best.
Zoom is the next best thing I would do.
They're far away.
But if they're really good, the plane ride would be really good.
Oh, wow.
In other words, I seriously, if I knew somebody really good that I wanted to visit, now here's the thing to it, just so you know, have them come to you. Don't go to them. Just have them come to you, because you'll be in your environment. If you go to them, they'll be doing 5 listing appointments while they're squeezing you in. Okay?
And second question, do you have to know about their firm or know all the splits about other firms?
Not until you meet them. When you meet with them, just ask them the questions. Yeah.
Gene, how often do you follow up?
Here's the thing, and you're going to laugh at this. I'm a terrible follow-upper because I'm really good at judging if they're interested or not.
Yeah.
If they're interested, I follow up really well. If they're not interested, I'll be really blunt. I don't follow up. I mean, I'm just not a good follow-upper. I'm just not.
And the ones that you're.
Me and Rob Flick are two of the top best. We always tell people, we go, you think we follow up a lot? No, we're just really good. Here's the quote that you need to write down. Covey has if you read Stephen Covey's 7 Habits, there's a gate of change. And I had this up on my desk for 20 years when I was at KW. There's a gate of change that people have. It's called the gate of change. Will people change? No amount of great scripts, great questions, great persuasion, you think you could be the best salesperson on earth, can never get the gate to open. The gate can only be opened from where? The inside. When I had that up there above me for years, because I go, man, I want Kevin Control to be here. I want Nolly Willens to be here. But he's not even listening to me. He won't even meet with me. He won't even give me the time of day. This is going to happen to you a lot. Because you have a lot of friends there. And they won't even meet. Gate's not open.
So do you just not do that?
Yeah, I don't talk to them. And when the gate's not open, I can tell it's so good because I've been interviewing people for long. They're looking at their cell phones, they're not even talking to me. They're just squizzing, they're not even listening. I'm going to give a short presentation here because this sucker, this person is not, gate is not open. By the way, it's okay.
Will it open in the future?
Do you know my story? 6 months before I met, who's that guy named? Glenn Sanford? 6 months before I met Glenn Sanford, a company called me. They're out of Boston. Private label. I don't know if I ever told you this story. And the head of private label called me and said, Gene, you're at the top of my list. I want to go national. I want you to be the CEO of our national company. And I said, Joe, might as well not even meet. Might as well not even meet. He goes, what do you mean? I said, dude, I own 6 market centers and I own a region. And I'm the team leader of the 2nd largest office in Keller Williams. He goes, well, Gene, I thought I'd call you first. I said, Joe, really appreciate you calling. By the way, he's the only person that's ever called me. 6 months later, I don't have the team leader job. Thank you, Mary Tennant. That was awesome. No, seriously. And then I didn't have the team leader job. Somebody asked me to check this out. I called a little guy on November 6th. You might remember his name, Mark Willis. I called Mark Willis on November 6th because I told Glenn, I said, I'm going to call Mark Willis. He goes, you're going to call Mark Willis? I said, yeah, dude. Why don't I call Mark Willis? I called him. He goes, Gino. I said, what? He goes, glad you called. If you would have called 6 months ago, I wouldn't have answered. He goes, my non-compete's up in December. Boom. So timing is everything. So I'm not saying don't follow up. I'm just saying you want to, let me tell you what will make your career as a recruiter happy. When people say yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a great day.
Yeah.
It's a great day. When they say yes. I'm not kidding you, when they go, yeah. And they get it. You see them and you go, I see the lights on. You open up the laptop, you sign them up. That's a good day. But if I try to convince them to open up their gate, I'm not that good. And you guys want me to. That's what I thought when you were telling me about that gal in Arizona, which I'm from Arizona. I know realty executives. I used to own that franchise. But the problem is, you said, how can I talk to her to make her gate open? I'm thinking to myself, I told you to come back today and I teach you. You can't open up the gate for her. So I'm just really good, and Rob and I were really good at talking to people. Gates open. Woohoo! You're going to have a fun day today. Gates open. Can tell. Boom. I ask good questions. I can tell by the responses they're really listening. They're interested. Good interview. By the way, if it's not really open and you can tell they're really not, it's okay. Do it. But you know what? Don't think of it as a defeat for you. Their gate was just shut.
Yeah.
We were talking about Ben Baker and Ollie, right? My buddy Ben. Oh, yeah. True story. This is a KW story. He bought my realty executives from me, by the way. Oh. So, poor guy. So anyway, he calls me, sold it to him in 1994. By 2000, he was worn out as a broker. And he calls me, he says, Gene, let's talk about KW. I said, cool. Met him on a Saturday, 8 o'clock in the morning. We spent 8 hours together. Monday morning, he signs up. Guess what he says to our MCA? What's our split?
Oh.
What's the split? What's our cap?
He didn't even pay attention.
Yeah. No, he didn't know, because for 8 hours, I solved his problem. I had him get rid of his brokerage and come to us. That was all he wanted. Now, what I'm saying that is, Ben said, Gene, the reason I'm talking to you is because you haven't hounded me. A lot of these other KW people hound me all the time. You and Susan have been really nice. Right? They'll call when they want to. I know so many people at KW now, they go, why haven't you called so-and-so? They know where I am. And they will call. When their gate is open, Ben will call. When Ben's gate's shut, I'm not going to hound him every month and say, why don't you listen to me?
So how do you stay in touch in the meantime?
Any way you want to. This is communication. You guys know communication better than I do. Seriously. Facebook, Twitter, Twatter, T2T. I don't even know what you're doing. I don't know how you communicate. I'm a texter. I text. I think texting works. Right? But now again, if you find some other way to communicate, communicate. I could care less. People go, how you do it? I already told you I'm not a good follow-upper. But you know what I did yesterday? Give you a good example. Here's what I'm good at. I look at my cell phone. Next to Nolly Williams is Jeremy Knight. Jeremy Knight was one of our agents that left and went to Rio. Good guy. I love Jeremy. I just texted him. He was on my phone. Jeremy, just thinking about you, dude. How's it going? That's what I did. Text me right back. Gene, how you doing? What's going on? I said, I've lived in Puerto Rico the last 3 years, man. Come out and see us. Boom, 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 boom. I'm good at that. I'm good at staying in touch. Best script I know, quite honestly, is I was just thinking about you today. Yeah. And it's real, too. I was thinking about Jeremy. It wasn't fake. He knows me. It's my way of communicating. Right? It really is me. It's not fake. Right? However you say, I was thinking about you today. I don't know about you. You get a text today saying from one of your brothers or sisters or mom or dad or cousin, I was just thinking about you. What do you think? Are you going to text them back and go, thanks, man? Right? It's powerful.
Gene.
Yes.
Ask Eric about the first meeting we had.
Okay, Eric, tell them about the first meeting we had.
So, what happened? So I was in...
Stand up and
so I was in Austin on a business meeting, right? And somebody dragged me to a meeting and said, I want you to meet with Kevin Cottrell. I said, who the hell is Kevin Cottrell? Said, he's with EXP. And I said, wait a minute. I said, how did you get me to this meeting? I didn't fly to Austin to talk about EXP. And in walks Kevin with his $1 million smile. And he says to me, so I'm here to talk to you about EXP. And I said, let me be clear. I'd like to be very direct. I said, not in this lifetime. It will never happen, not in this lifetime. I go back to Miami and I post something, and I'm walking the beaches in Miami, and Kevin says, this is every couple of weeks. Hey, it would be great to sync up in Miami. I'd love to grab a cup of coffee. Oh, do you walk every morning? Great picture you took of the sunrise. Let's take a walk together. And I started thinking, is he straight? Is he hitting on me? Long and short of it is, he stayed in touch. Long and short of it is 6 months to 9 months later, I joined EXP, and it is absolutely the best business decision I've ever made in my professional career. My background is an investment banker. It is the best brokerage model for all the reasons that Gene talked about today.
Woo! Yeah. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. Especially if they're talent, right? Yeah. And if you know they're talent, don't give up.
I've had a couple of calls recently where this guy he was in investments and he got into brokerage, and he's like, all of my buddies don't think this model is sustainable. It's gonna implode. It's gonna collapse. And I'm just curious how you would deal with that.
I would say there's two things I go with, by the way. When I got that 5-6 years ago, it was hard to answer, just so you know. Now I said, of course, I'm on the board of directors. I said, look, have you checked our financials? I said, have you read the latest first quarter financials? We have over $100 million in the bank, and we have 0 debt. No short-term, no long-term debt. We don't own a copier. We don't own a table. We don't own anything. And we have no leases. And look at them and go, could you imagine 80,000 agents with no rent in a metaverse with $100 million and no debt? I'm kind of curious. Why would your friends think we're not going to make it? By the way, we had a 4-cent dividend the last 3 quarters.
Yeah.
I just got the check yesterday. It was a good check. No, but here's what I'm telling you. That's all I do. And by the way, don't belittle them. Don't hammer them. Don't be antagonistic. Go, and by the way, you might want to talk to your stockbroker, and if they really know real estate, and have them check out our financials. We're extremely profitable, blah, 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 blah. That's what I would do. I haven't heard that one in a long time. Maybe because
I was taken aback. I was just like, well, they said the same thing about Amazon.
well, but we're not Amazon. We're making money. Amazon wasn't making money in the beginning, so there was a lot of capital, right? But what I would tell them, rather than do that, I'd go, look, just check out our financials. Oh my gosh. I've never seen more smiley agents. By the way, the stock's really low right now. I'm not going to say anything, but there could be some purchasing thing going on by you guys. I can't say that. I didn't say that. I was just thinking it. It came out. It just came out. Yeah.
People who always say, I need an office.
He says, how do you handle people that I need an office? I say COVID. They go, what do you mean? I said, COVID-19 put the nail in the coffin of offices. It just did. There's RE/MAX offices nobody's been back in. There's Keller Williams offices. I have Keller Williams offices that the managers, the team leaders, have not been in since COVID. It put the nail in the coffin, and that's what I tell them. I said, so.
One quick question. So competition-wise, obviously we were the first ones out of the gate running virtual.
Yep.
But you have other firms popping up as real.
Yep.
I'm hearing things pop up. I'm actually seeing some of the brokerages think, well, that's the new EXP, so they switched over. One of them was $1 million in our local market.
Yep.
But I've been using that. They don't have a platform like we have with Bella, and that's how we became so successful. Would you say that because Facebook coming out with Metaverse, or what would you use as combat towards that? I would guess.
About competition, especially like Real or other ones that are actually getting a little bit of traction. I said it's just flattery that people are going to copy us. I actually tell them that every firm 10 years from now will be using a Metaverse.
Yeah.
I said this is over. So if you're not copying us now, you'll copy us later. It's going to be real, guys. Why would you have bricks and mortar when your agents? Do your agents have cell phones? Do you guys have cell phones? Yeah. Yes.
What do you tell them when you're trying to bring over a brokerage owner and they currently already have their agents at 80/20? So
this is a good question. She said, how do you talk to a broker owner? I talk to them all day long. That's about basically who I talk to. When they're already at 80/20, and they're going to give the 20% to us, right?
Right.
Get them on a three-way with me.
Yep.
That's what I would tell you.
Okay.
I cannot give you enough scripts that I use every single day in this format. Get them on with me, Kevin Cottrell, anybody that we're used to talking to brokers.
Okay.
Believe me.
Because the team integration team kind of scared them away by giving them a mandatory of what they needed to do. And
Well, who's the team? What'd you say?
For Florida, there's a team integration.
Team integration team?
Uh-huh.
Don't know who they are.
Gene, this is where operations sends them the spreadsheet and all the detail, and it scares people off.
Yep.
Three-way call is the first step.
Three-way call. Don't let them talk to our people. No, seriously, don't let them talk to corporate, right? When I say that, they're trying to help, but, right?
It's scary.
It's
Three-way
scary.
call. Where's it?
Three-way call. Three-way call. Three-way call. Stick to three-way calls with pros. Three-way calls with pros. That's how you do it. Because you don't want to, all of a sudden, look, did you talk to the broker of New Hampshire? Who's the broker of New Hampshire? I don't know. The broker of New Hampshire is the broker. They're not the recruiter. We're the recruiters.
Yeah.
Right? It's okay. It's just life. They think, by the way, we want the broker. We need brokers, but they need to do broker stuff, not recruiting stuff. It's okay.
Gene,
Yeah.
do you want to touch up on international recruiting? Is it similar? Is it different? How do
See.
you approach it?
See. Just do it the same way you do here, but contact Michael Valdez and his group. That's all you do. Work through him. That's period. Because don't assume you can kind of piece it together. Go to him first. Say, hey, are we opening up Peru? How's it looking? Oh no, Peru's not on our deal for 2 years. Well, yeah, do it. Get the connection, but know where you are with Michael Valdez. We have one over here. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I think I've worn this thing out. Did you want to tell your story real quick? Did you have a story or something?
I just had a little thing where you like affected my business a couple of years ago. So
Wait a second, jump on that.
yeah. Oh wait. So a couple of years ago, we were having dinner in Charlotte, and I was sitting there getting ready to take a bite of my steak, and you turned to me and you said, "Matt, how many grandchildren do I have?" And I said, "Oh, I don't know, Gene. I have 5." You were like, "9." And you were like, "If you don't know that I have 9 grandchildren, you don't know me. And if you don't know me, how are you going to bring me to EXP?" Fast forward 6 months later, I moved to Colorado. I moved to a town, and I was doing okay at the time. I had about 25 agents. I moved to Colorado where I didn't know a single person in the town. And I realized really quickly that whole town had been beaten up by one particular individual that called everyone 30, 40 times. And no one gave EXP any respect. And so I looked at my wife, I said, we're going to go out and we're going to change the culture by ourselves. We're going to literally set out to show people how we do things. And so I started making phone calls to agents. I would look people up, find out who's doing really good business here, and I would call them and I would say, "Hey, my name is Matt Peurto. I just moved to this area. I am a real estate agent. I'm not licensed yet in Colorado, but your name keeps coming up and I'd love to meet with you, get to know you, learn from you about our community, and perhaps partner with you on any referrals that I get before I get licensed." They would take my calls in a second. And we would go, and I would just get to meet people, and I would learn about them, and I would ask them questions. "Hey, what are you doing this for? How did you get into real estate?" I never, ever said EXP. They knew, but I didn't say a word. And make a long story short, I became friends with all these people. And I would follow up, and I would continue to go out to coffee with these people and everything like that. Well, I ended up bringing a guy on and poured into him, and he started killing it. And he talks to a big fish. And he says, "Man, I've got this guy. I really want him to come over. He doesn't see it. I'm so excited for him, but he just doesn't see it." And I said, "Hey, man, let me ask you a question." I said, where does he see himself in 5 years?" He said, "Oh, what do you mean? I don't know." I said, "Well, if you don't know where he's going to be in 5 years, you don't know him." I said, "Listen, set up a meeting with us 3." And I said, "Because right now, he's too near you to hear you, right? Like you just started doing this, and he's a big fish. He's too near you to hear you." I said, "Bring me in." And so we sat with the guy and we talked forever, and I just got to know this guy. He's like, "Oh, I've been doing this for 6 years. I've been making this amount of money for 6 years, and I don't need EXP and everything like that." And I said, "Well, let me ask you something. Didn't you just say you had a son?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, let me ask you something. How much time do you spend with him?" And he said, "Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm trying what I can." I said, "What I heard you tell me was he's a big reason for what you're doing." And I said, "I'm going to tell you something. Your son doesn't care how much business you did at the end of your life, but he'll care if you miss his birthday. I can promise you that." And I said, "Man, I said, what I'm hearing from you is you really want to grow, but you're afraid to leave what you've done for the last 6 years." I said, "You've made this amount of money, but now that money means less to you, but your time means more." And I said, "You are internally built to grow. That's how we are as humans." And I said, "Do you remember when you were a teenager and you could go anywhere, do anything? You could go to college, you could take a career, you could travel to Europe." I said, "You remember that feeling you had? You lost that doing what you're doing. Yeah, you're successful in monetary terms. What do you want to leave behind? You told me you want to grow and you want to leave something for your children." I said, "Let's continue this conversation." That dude ended up coming over. Next thing you know, we had other people following us, realizing that we were pouring into our people and really building a life together. This is not about us, it's about them. And in 2 years, we became the #1 team in our area without knowing a single person. And I'm one person away from hitting 100. I tell all our agents, I'm like, "Look, if you don't know their why, how are you ever going to bring them over?" Like, Gene, when you said that at dinner, like, I literally about choked on a piece of steak because you were like, I was eating and you were like, "Man." Like, I don't know. But I take what you said to heart and I literally pour into every one of our agents. You've got to know them intimately. They know you're at EXP. You don't need to tell them that. But get to know them on that level and solve their problems, help them achieve their goals, take yourself out of it. And the more you give of yourself, whether that be time, deals, encouragement, you will grow. God will take care of you. Do you know what I mean?
Let's hear it from Matt. 'Cause, 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 'cause Hope you got that on tape. That was awesome, right?
A quick question. So with the agents who see you as a threat, right? Because you're their competition. How do you change that perspective and get a meeting with them and try to be
The
friends?
person I met this week was Veronica Figueroa's #1 competitor for the last 15 years. And she came to Puerto Rico to visit us. We met her. After a couple days, they're not competitors. They can't believe now they're going to be working on the same, right? The same team. Don't look at it like that. They're not just, here's the thing. They've got wants and needs. If you don't know their wants and their goals, what do they want? People want things, right? They want things. What's their why? Don't worry about if they're your competition, right? You'll be okay.
What we end up saying, what we end up saying, Mercedes, sorry, let me stand up, guys. What we end up saying is that, listen, I'm looking for a partner in this business, and we all need help and support. So if you're going to go away, everybody likes to go on vacations and do certain things. A lot of times in our local market, we have a lot of competition, but because of the network and impact the organization that we build, I mean, I have a business in North Carolina now that's running, and if I need support, I'm going to reach out to people in my organization. They're going to step up and help out. So it's about building a partnership. Don't look at it as from a competition standpoint.
Oh, well, I don't see them like that. It's, let's say I have one guy who owns his own firm, right? And I want to go to him, but he sees me as a threat. I have invited him to events, but he's like, I'm not interested.
That's okay, his gate's not open.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, Mercedes, what you're going to find out, you'll get better at it. Here's what you guys got to write down. You'll get really good at this. Just have 3 interviews a day. Have 3 Zooms a day. Have 5 Zooms a day. Have 10 Zooms a day. And after a while, you're going to go, well, all these objections, I always hear objections. I don't have objections. I just have meetings. If they don't want to come, I'm okay with it. I don't have a thing on an outcome. I don't look at it as a failure. I just look at it, I met a human being today. It was awesome. It was awesome. What a nice person. Can't wait to do another transaction with them. Well, they're not interested at all. Okay. So you guys are taking it personal. I don't care. That's why I'm really good at this. Guys, you guys know this if you haven't heard it. Susan and I started this May 1st, 15. In a month, it'll be 7 years. The first 10, 15 people I talked to turned me down. All of them. All of them. I was 0 for 10. 0 for 15. Everybody I talked to, no. How many agents does that company have? 400. Ooh. What's the stock? 30 cents a share. Ooh, it's a pink sheet. It's a pink sheet. It's Wolf on Wall Street, they told me. So what I'm telling you is since I'm a professional recruiter, it did not faze me 1 iota. It did not. I mean, sure was I, God, I can't even get Kevin Cottrell to join. He turned me down at the beginning. He was going through stuff. Everybody was turning me down, but the thing was, I went, if I have enough appointments, somebody will say yes. If I have enough appointments, somebody will say yes. And I just lucked out. Got Scott and Tracy Lewis, Rob Flick, Pat Hayes in my first 8 months, and I was off to the races. I mean, you only need a couple people to help you, and you're off to the races. 1 or 2. You need a running mate, by the way. You might want to run that one down, too. You need a running mate. You need people that work as hard as you do. And when I met, I tell them all the time, Rob Flick and Scott and Tracy and those guys, I said, I've never worked with people that worked as hard as I do, who have literally stayed up late at night, and we talked about what we were going to do. And the next day we got up and had 8 more appointments. What was it, Susan? December 24th, 2015. I've been doing this for 8 months. And Pat Hayes calls me on December 23rd. He says, Gene, I got 8 appointments tomorrow in San Antonio. I said, 8? He goes, first one's at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 1 o'clock. We got 8 appointments. Christmas Eve. He says, Scott and Tracy are out of town. They're on vacation. Can you do them? I drive 2 hours. We wake up at 5 o'clock, drive there. We have 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. We have 8. I think 7 of the 8 signed up. And then on the way home, the reason I know this is because I bought Susan's Christmas gift at Walmart. But I told Pat Hayes to this day, 2015, I said, who's doing 8 appointments on Christmas Eve? Who wants it? Who wants it so bad? I said, Pat, that was awesome. He talks about it. I said, Pat, you need a running mate. I need a running mate. I need somebody that wants to work as hard as I do. And then you're gonna get this kid. You're gonna all of a sudden go, yeah, and you need a running mate that forces you to have these appointments, right? Don't shy away from work for a couple of years, right? Well, you guys did it. You guys did it. I saw you work it. This is not easy. And Shelly, and you guys get better. I'm on Zooms with Shelly. It's so much better. Really, really. I want to tell you, you've improved.
Thank God.
But that's a good thing to say, right? Encourage them. She's really good now. You know, does that make sense? And then sometimes, you know, you'll get better. The problem is you haven't had enough one-on-ones in person or one-on-ones on a Zoom or enough lunch and learns or enough meeting. You just haven't had enough. And you do good too on the calls that we've had. You do really good on the calls. I mean, but you got to invite me and then shut up. Right, seriously. You have to, because if you don't, I can't lead it. I know where I'm going, but if you guys interrupt, you've ruined my flow. I know where I'm going, right? The ones that have been doing this for a lifetime, I know where I'm going. But if you interrupt me, write that down. Don't interrupt Gino. Right?
I apologize if I interrupted you.
No, you do good. Every once in a while, I can't wait to tell them this, right? You pop in, and I'm going, man, I was going to bring that up, right? I knew where I was going, but you went, oh, he hasn't covered that yet. Because in your mind, you think you have to cover it. And I recruited Vanessa Nunez in 15 minutes. And she was in a workout clothes that looked like she was going to beat me up. Vanessa, man, she looked, I hope she didn't look like I was a tire or something. But she's a sweetheart. By the way, she lived 15 years in Virgin Islands, which is 25 nautical miles from here. She wants to open up the Virgin Islands, right? Now she's in the rip share. Right? Isn't that amazing? She knows people. So I want to end with a story. I'm out of here. See you later.